We're going to go to Cincinnati in 1 minute, but Key, you have said, we were talking about in the previous segment, sample size. You got to wait on Lamar. We're already making proclamations on Tua, Herbert, and Burrow, but you are ready to say, 10 games in, I have seen more than I need to see for Joe Burrow. He is legit. He is the man.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't take you long to see Herbert's legit. He's going to be okay. It doesn't take you long to be able to identify a guy that's going to be a player. This is certainly a setback for his career with an injury. You certainly want to know how he's going to respond to the injury when he comes back. ACL, MCL, and some other damages somewhere in there. I'm not a doctor. I haven't been inside his knee, so I don't really know what the MRI looks like. But clearly, there's some damage that's there. But his performance this year alone through 10 games has been superior for a rookie. I think when you look at it, you have to say to yourself, he is headed in the right direction. And I know, how can you tell? Well, clearly, with T. Higgins, a young receiver that they drafted along with Joe Burrow to help his future. That is what you do with young quarterbacks. Joe Mixon in the backfield, when he's healthy, they have a strong running game. It's a young football team headed in the right direction, and when you look at it, you have to be able to say, this guy has what it takes.
There's no doubt about it. Let's head to Cincinnati. Mo Egger, ESPN 1530, our great affiliate, joins us via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line, brought to you by Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline. Mo, good morning. Simply put, what is the reaction here over the last 24, 48 hours to the Joe Burrow injury?
Fans are devastated. I don't think there's any other way to put it. And it's the injury in a vacuum. Look, when your franchise player suffers an injury which puts his, certainly his short-term future in doubt, and obviously his long-term as well, that's always painful. But when you're a Cincinnati Bengals fan, and these things always seem to happen at exactly the worst time, it's just such a punch to the gut. There's every reason to believe that Joe Burrow is going to get back on the field. I heard Carson Palmer with you guys yesterday. Carson Palmer got back on the field. He was injured in January. He started week 1 in 2006. I think that's the timeline they're looking at here, but you draft a guy number 1 overall, not with the idea that he's merely going to be on the field, but that he's going to be special. And I think that's what Bengals fans are having a hard time with right now. Are we not going to see the player that Joe Burrow was trending towards being before Sunday? Keyshawn was talking about it. The first half of the season, he was fantastic. For a guy who started week 1 as a rookie with no preseason, obviously it didn't translate into wins, but man, you couldn't watch him and not be really excited about, his future, where this team could go with him. And now all of that is in doubt. I think Bengals fans are having a really hard time with it.
Who are the Bengal fans pointing the fingers at, left and right?
I think what it is, and I certainly understand, this team has had a bad offensive line for 5 years. And look, something like what happened on Sunday, this, Keyshawn, something like what happened on Sunday could happen to a quarterback playing behind the best offensive line in the NFL. Things happen in this sport. You brought up Carson Palmer, 2005 playoffs. He was injured behind a really good offensive line, but it has always felt like the Bengals were playing with fire on the O-line. Going back to 2016, certainly going back to the year after they let Andrew Whitworth get away in 2017. And it hasn't been due to lack of effort. They took an offensive lineman in the first round in 2015, 2018, 2019. They've made trades. They've tried some developmental guys, and it just hasn't worked. And so, along with watching Joe Burrow play well, it was hard to not watch him in the first half of the season and not say to yourself, man, he's going to get killed back there. They just haven't done a very good job of protecting him. So it sounds lazy to say, well, he's behind a bad offensive line and that's why he got hurt. But the longer you leave something unaddressed, the more likely that it's at some point going to come back and bite you. And I think that's where most Bengals fans are. The inability to consistently protect their quarterbacks caught up to them in absolutely the worst way on Sunday.
Mo, and I know that the Cincinnati Bengals organization, they like to stick long and hard with head coaches. But let's go back to last year with Zach Taylor, and let's fast forward to this year with Zach Taylor. How do we evaluate him now without Joe Burrow as a head coach?
Well, they're going to hand things over to Ryan Finley. That doesn't give this coaching staff a pass because Ryan Finley played last year. He played 3 games. They didn't go well. He didn't play well. That certainly doesn't preclude him from improving and playing well moving forward. But to me, you are always held accountable for your choices. This organization and this coaching staff chose with a rookie quarterback to stay with a backup who was a rookie last year who didn't have any success. That tells me they think Ryan Finley can win football games. And, here in the second half of the season, we were talking before last week about how now you finally start to evaluate this coaching staff because the schedule eases up a little bit, right? They were playing 3 bad NFC East teams. The Houston Texans are on the schedule. That Miami game is not easy, but, winnable. I still think you hold this coaching staff to that because this organization chose to stick with Ryan Finley instead of going out and getting an established veteran to be a backup, instead of going out and getting a Ryan Fitzpatrick type, instead of going out and, heck, even keeping Andy Dalton around because he was under contract for 1 more year. So, look, I think everybody certainly acknowledges the battle is very uphill moving forward, but you are your record. This coaching staff is 421-1 since replacing Marvin Lewis. Zach Taylor has no equity to cash in on. At some point, you got to start winning football games, and I still think that statement holds true even without Joe Burrow.
Wow, 424-1. Zach, a former college quarterback, knows the quarterback position. He played at Nebraska. Just with the facts here, Key.
No, I didn't say anything. I just said they thought they was getting Sean McVay. So much for that.
For those that don't know, Taylor was on McVay's staff, and there was that period of time where everybody believed that if Sean McVay put a little pixie dust on you, that you were going to become the next Sean McVay. I saw the Bengals on Sunday, and I saw the Rams on Monday, and to Key's point, that did not happen.
Yeah, that wasn't quite Sean there, Mo. That was a